welcome to another episode of God, Guns, and Gains. Just to kind of start off, super sorry that we're not going with the podcast that I had originally intended for. And so to make up for that, I'm going to do a gun review on the Citadel Levtac-92. Still planning on having a guest on for God, Guns, and Gains and hoping to have a really awesome conversation regarding guns and how I got into the hobby of, being a gun nut and going shooting, going to the range, and, being a gun collector. So anyways, kind of to start off with, this is my new Citadel Levtac-92. Give y'all a good look at that. I got this gun, I'd say a couple months ago. This is a lever action made by Legacy Sports International, I believe. Yeah, Legacy Sports International. It's a big loop lever action for you that are listening and not watching. Just hear that. That sounds nice. I love lever action guns. But anyways, this is the Citadel Levtac-92. I purchased this gun a couple months ago on gunbroker.com, and I'll tell you why. Because this thing is hard to come by. Like, when this gun comes in stock at like Sportsman's Warehouse or Grenier.com or any other gun store, it's either over $1,000 or it gets sold out super quick. And I can understand why. Like, this is a really cool looking gun. Like, for those that, love a good old-fashioned lever action, but want the modern, capability of, throwing a light on there or putting a red dot on there and, just having that really awesome, feel and look to it. And it feels like a really awesome gun, and I love it. I took it to the range a couple weeks after I bought it, and it shoots awesomely. I'm super excited to get ready to put a red dot on there. I'm trying to figure out what I want to do. On one of my rifles, I have the 6-hour Romeo 5 on it, and I love it. It's super accurate, really awesome quality red dot. Maybe I'll put that on there too, but I'm going to, do some research. Maybe I'll get something from Vortex. I have one of their red dots on my Glock 45. But anyways, let's dig into the Citadel Levtac-92. So anyways, this rifle, it's chambered in 357, and which also means 357 Magnum, which also means that you can shoot it in 38 Special. And I wanted to give y'all a comparison on those two rounds. So right here is the 357 Magnum, and this is the 38 Special. And with these, shooting this round compared to this is like comparing shooting a 22 to, a 5.56 or a 2.23 round. Literally plinking this round through this gun, it felt like I was shooting a 22 long range, 22 LR rifle. And it was, super fun. But once you put that 357 Magnum there, complete difference. Like, you could feel a little bit of the kick. Not a crazy kick like you would get out of like a 12 gauge or, a 308, 6.5 Creedmoor. But 38 Special, if you're just, wanting to go to the range and plink around, I would highly recommend using a 38 Special. 357 Magnum, I would kind of consider that more of like a home defense round. I know people, have, 357 Magnum revolvers that they would, some depending on how cowboy you are, use that as your everyday carry, or, your, home defense weapon of choice. And I feel like it's, comparable to a 9mm. So anyways, moving along with the Citadel Levtac-92. I pulled some of the stats up on this, and so, also another awesome feature that I'll get into about this with that. So this is a 16.5-inch barrel, but the awesome thing about this barrel is it's threaded. So if you wanted to, and if you're not living in California, you could throw a suppressor on there, or you can throw some type of compensator, and just to give it a really awesome look to it. And so I'm planning on putting some type of, I'll call it, muzzle brake device on this rifle. I think it'll make it look awesome. I don't know if I'll put a suppressor on there because apparently it's illegal here in California. But anyways, planning on putting some type of, I guess I'll call it, muzzle brake device, albeit a compensator, or, just something to extend the length of the barrel. Going on, holds 8 rounds. So 7 rounds in the cartridge, and then 1 in the chamber. Also, kind of with this model 92, the big loop. So it's super easy to access because I have a Marlin 3030. It's not the big loop, and so I don't know if you're ever going to be in the situation, but it's really nice to, when you go to grab the gun, you can really stick your hand in there, and if you have big meaty fingers, then it's super easy to get into. So I really like that. And then I also like the safety of it. So for example, if I want to put this on safety, it has a safety at the top, so I can flip that to fire or to safe. And then also, as an added safety, you can bring that the cocker back a half a click. See, once it gets to it. Oh, hold up. Let's bring it back. There you go. It's on safe. So, I mean, if I were to pull the trigger, as you can see, nothing's been injected, so this gun's safe. If I were to pull the trigger, won't go. So I really like that added safety measure to that gun. Moving along with the rifle, let's pull up some of my notes. Has a tough black synthetic stock. You have your M-LOK 4 in, so you can put all of your different accessories on there, be it a flashlight, or you can put like a nice little bifold on there to mount that. So if you're shooting from prone, or if you're shooting at a bench, it's a lot easier to shoot. Obviously has the Picatinny reel, so you can throw a red dot on there, or if you want to, you can even throw a scope on there. I feel like for this kind of rifle and the ranges that you would typically be shooting, obviously you can go out past 100 yards, but I feel like for my purposes with this gun, you obviously have the capability of going that far with 357 Magnum, but I feel like you want to be within that, don't go more than 100 yards, but somewhere around that 50-yard range, especially if you wanted to go hunting with it. And then with this, it comes with that rear peep sight. So it has this circular peep sight at the back, and going to that front end sight right there. And so, depending on the type of red dot you put on there, maybe you can slap on like a little vortex venom on there, and then you could probably do co-witness with it. Or if you have one of those higher red dots, then depending on how your red dot's set up, you could use the red dot, and if let's say you're in a situation where the batteries die, then you can go underneath the frame of your red dot and use your peep sight. So that's something really awesome about that, with how low that is. And then also just to reiterate, I just love this threaded barrel. Like there's so many possibilities that you could do with that. So and when I was talking to the people there, 357 uses the same threaded diameter as a 9mm. So if you have a 9mm, I don't want to say it goes for all 9mm weapons that have a threaded barrel, but you can use any type of muzzle brake device of a 9mm for your 357 rifle. So also with this rifle, I said mine's chambered in 357 Magnum. They also have it in 44 Magnum and 454 Casull. Again, this is a really awesome gun. I've always wanted a lever action in my, I guess, in my collection and my repertoire of firearms. I'm super excited to modify it because now I have this 4-end M-lock device on there, so I can put I think I don't know if I'll put a flashlight on there because for flashlights I mean typically you would use that for home defense, so I have that on my AR, which is what I would use for home defense in the case of a home intrusion at night. So I don't think I'd be going around with my lever action, even though that'd be pretty sweet to do that. But definitely gonna throw a red dot on there. And I think I want to put like a little bipod on there. I know Magpul has some pretty sweet bipods, and I think that would be a pretty nice addition to that. And later down the road, if I'm going to do some good research, I'm going to find out what type of muzzle brake device I can put on there. So anyways, kind of to go through the history of this rifle, like where did it come from? So it's from a company called, like I said before, Legacy Sports International, and they are based out of Reno, Nevada. But this gun was made in Brazil. So I know a lot of awesome guns, come from different countries. Oh, actually, one of those guns that I'd really love to get my hands on. I was trying to get my hands on this gun, but another gun that I'm really, really, really on the search for that is unobtainium is the Chiappa Rhino, which is also, you can also get it in 357 Magnum. And those guns are just so difficult to find. And that's all the way from Italy. And they make some really awesome revolvers. And the cool thing about that, I'm kind of detracting from this review, but the cool thing about the Chiappa Rhino is that unlike your typical revolver where it shoots from where the barrel's on the top, the barrel is lowered. And so when you shoot, especially if you're shooting 357 Magnum, instead of, having a big shot and, have that big recoil, the recoil goes into your wrist. And so it goes back. And so you're able to get back on target and reset very quickly instead of, having to, boom, recoil and reset. So the reset on that is amazing. And it's just a really awesome gun in general. So Citadel Levtac-92, history of that. So Legacy Sports International, technically it didn't start in 1927 because it was bought by, Legacy Sports International bought, basically the idea from these people, but started by a man named Samuel Cummings. He was born in Philadelphia on February 7th, 1927. After World War II, he became a weapons specialist for the U.S. Army at Fort Lee, Virginia. Following his military discharge, he attended George Washington University, where he was recruited by the CIA to be a weapons expert. Man, I feel like having some type of job like that just would be pretty fun. And it's really interesting to kind of hear these histories or this story of how these gun manufacturers started, or how these people, got into becoming a firearms dealer. And it's in really interesting, obscure ways that helps, connect them to, that end goal. And so Cummings then toured Europe, where he bought large quantities of surplus World War II weapons for both Hollywood productions and the Taiwan government. During this time, he was also called upon to identify captured weapons in the Korean War. That is awesome. Like, imagine having that kind of knowledge of weapons to be able to, go to a certain country or, go to a certain store and, so someone doesn't know, what the model of this weapon is, and you can go there and say, oh, this is for my purposes, this is a Citadel Levtac-92 made in blah, blah, blah year. And so that was pretty cool. So this was happened like between 1927 and 1966. Now let's fast forward a good bit to 2006. 2006, Legacy Sports International opened its doors in Reno, Nevada. And right before that, In 1998, Samuel Cummins died in Monaco after a series of strokes, with the company sitting on $12 million of inventory. And his family chose to liquidate all inventory of the company except $500,000 of Howa barreled actions after his passing. And so Intermarco was bought by Legacy Sports International, which is a subsidiary of Fuller Global, on January 1st, 2000. Now, let's go back to that $12 million of inventory. This is just crazy. Over the span of 7 years, he accumulated over 1 million firearms. That's crazy. And then get this, and over 250 million rounds of ammo from a surplus of the Spanish Civil War. I can't even fathom having... I can't fathom that. 250 million rounds of ammo in 1 million firearms. That's insane. So, his company Intermarco, because so after he left the CIA, he started this company called Intermarco, and that's how he became this firearms dealer. And he was one of the biggest firearms dealer in the world at that time. And after his passing, they liquidated their assets and then sold the company to Legacy Sports International. And that started in 2006. And that's kind of when they started, their operations. And this is where, the Citadel Levtac-92 comes into the picture. Citadel, I guess their Citadel brand also does shotguns, and they do different types of rifles as well. But it's pretty interesting to me that when I was like kind of going through Legacy Sports website, like I didn't know that Howa was one of their brands, and that's kind of one of the brands that you can get at Sportsman's Warehouse. They have some pretty sweet looking precision rifles, and I don't know, they're pretty cool. They're budget friendly, and I've never used the gun, but they look like pretty awesome weapons. Anyways, getting back to this, kind of the going over the how it works and shooting this rifle. So how you shoot the Citadel Levtac-92. So on the right side of the rifle, there's a port right here where you can start loading your rounds. And it's pretty tedious unless you're pretty used to loading this style of a lever action. It's pretty tough, especially if you're just going to be shooting this all day long, like pushing it in and then up. It's pretty tedious. So if you're trying to use this as your home defense or combat rifle, I wouldn't do that, because first off, you only get 8 rounds, 7 in the cartridge and then 1 in the chamber. And then after you use those 8 rounds, now you're like saying, all right, time out. let me load. So there are also other I think I've only seen it in 22, but where you can there's a nut at the top, and you can pull like a little pole out, and then you can load from the side, and that's pretty fast. But then again, like not the most optimal. But just for plinking around or for hunting, if you are having to use more than 8 rounds for a semi big game hunt, maybe you should spend some more time at the range. But anyways, I would say that this is pretty tedious to do. Other than that, I guess that's my only gaffe with the rifle, is just the loading port of how you do it. Again, I got this off a gun broker, and if you really want this gun, you might have to cough up a little bit more than what you could get at Sportsman's, because at Sportsman's Warehouse they have it listed for $6.99. Rainier Arms out of Washington, I think they have it listed on their website for $7.49. And then to find this gun, because I was trying to find other places other than Gun Broker to get this gun, but if you kind of look at other places for this, they're in the thousands. When I say thousands, it's like 1019 or $1,200 or $1,400 or $1,500. So it's kind of like, in the $1,000 to $1,500 range, which is more than double what you can get it for at Sportsman's or Rainier, but they're always out of stock. So try and put this on your, if you're wanting to get a sweet lever action like this that is pretty affordable. Check them out and just put them in. Put on your notification to get notified when they get back in stock, and just buy it as soon as possible. I've had that same issue with like the PS5. Like I always get notified, and then I go to try and buy a PS5, and it's been 2 years already, and I don't have a PS5 yet. So kind of sucks. But this is also, in comparison to the Rossi. I know Rossi has a lever action that's like that, and I've seen some gun reviews where that is, a pretty smooth action gun. But I mean, listen to this again. That's awesome. I feel like that's pretty smooth. So, I mean, if you take care of your weapons and clean them and oil them, it'll get the job done. And then also I saw on Ready Gunner's page that they had a Marlin that looked exactly like this, and man, that thing was clean. Marlin makes some pretty awesome guns. I'll have to show you later my my 30-30. I actually killed my first deer with that rifle, but we'll do a review on that later. But anyways, Citadel Levtac-92, chambered in 357 Magnum, 38 Special as well. 16.5-inch threaded barrel by Legacy Sports International. I really hope that you enjoy this gun review. Let me know your thoughts on it. Also, for those that are wondering why I'm pointing the gun out there. First off, gun safe. No one's filming. I have my phone on a little tripod. Anyways, everything's safed off. Everything's good. We're all good. Hope you enjoyed this gun review. Let me know your thoughts on the Citadel Levtac-92. Later on, I'm gonna throw out some videos on my Instagram page of me shooting it, so you can get some get a better idea on how it shoots and how smoothly it shoots, if it jams. That's another thing that I've seen from people that I think it was more with the 38 Special that it would jam. With 357 Magnum, it seemed to be just fine, but 38 Special for some reason would get them jammed up. So I'll throw some videos up there for y'all on that on my Instagram page. Instagram is at GodGunsGains. And please like and subscribe. I hope you enjoy this video, and we'll catch you on the next one.